Then the next step after targeting those influencers is audience activation. So how do you activate those influencers and get them talking about you? And that's the same as you would do here in this room with people. It's about building friendships. You don't just walk up to somebody in a room or at a networking event and say, I'm so-and-so, this is the great project I did, I cost this much, like, are you gonna hire me? Like, you have to build that friendship, and the same goes for Twitter. So the first thing, and Twitter's a great tool for building people who are gonna help, building an audience of people who are gonna help you. So the first thing I always recommend doing is find out who those influencers are, put them into a list based on what they're interested in. So you have lists within Twitter. You can create a list and put them all into a list, and then just follow that list and watch it for a week and learn what people are saying. Figure out the people that you can relate to, that you want to reach out to, and then just start commenting and just and comment on things they say, answer questions, provide advice, that kind of stuff. And over time, you'll build a friendship. And then based on that friendship, you're going to have someone who you can reach out to and say, hey, would you mind sharing this for me? Or would you mind letting people know that I worked on this project? Or letting people know that I'm looking for projects or anything like that. But you have to build that friendship first. The internet enables you to do that quickly, quicker than doing it, doing it in real life, I think. But that's incredibly important. So again, in that audit, you have your demographics, psychographics, geographic information, what social media platforms are they on, what websites do they visit, and what publications do they read, and that ties into what blogs do they read too, because those bloggers are also influencers. So, and you will become friends with bloggers the same way you would with anybody on Twitter. You read their articles, you comment on what they're saying, you start sending them information like, hey, your audience might be interested in this, and not necessarily related to you. And then once they feel like this is someone who knows who I am, they're reading what I'm saying, and they care about what I'm doing, then friendships are born out of that. And then those bloggers are happy to cover things for you and help you out. And so the tools like Quantcast and Compete help you figure out that top half of that, and then just doing Google searches for blogs that are within your field. And then finding out who writes them, and then searching further down and finding contact information for those bloggers and reaching out to them is another great way. From an SEO standpoint, and then this ties into that personal brand development side of it, knowing what people are searching for to find you is incredibly important. And putting yourself into the shoes of your customer or your client, and then based on that, creating your online presence to match what those people would be searching for. So, and there's some basic rules with SEO. The first is that content is key. The more content you have, the better. And think about sites like Wikipedia, which always show up first. They show up first because they're incredibly keyword heavy. They match the words exactly that you're searching for. The site itself has a huge depth of content. And then next, another part is cross-linking to other sites and linking within the site. So if within your personal website or websites you're building, you're cross-linking to other pages, and you're linking people out of the site, and there's a stream of traffic that's using those links, then that helps show up higher in Google. And then also linking to social media elements. And then another part is that multimedia within your site or your blog or on every page is incredibly important. So I was at dinner with a friend of mine, a guy who works at Google, and we were talking about our blogs, and all he said to me was, you put a picture with every blog post, right? And I said, well, not always. And then he goes, you put a picture with every blog post, right? And I said, okay. So having multimedia content on every page of your site, whether it's pictures or videos or whatever, and including it, especially if it's a blog, including that within every blog post is really important. So another thing to think about too that can really help you stand out, and this is something that isn't being taken advantage of as far as I can see, but video is now being search optimized, and I don't just mean the metadata. Google and Hulu and YouTube are all crawling closed captioning content on video, and Most people who load videos to YouTube don't load the closed captioning along with it, but that's extremely important because that's another layer of very rich data that those search crawlers can crawl through. So if you think about who your audience is and that you're wanting to position yourself as an expert to your audience, and you were to create a blog post a week with a video element in it that's just you at a webcam talking or maybe showing something about your craft, right? Like some new trick or some new thing, or talking about design elements. Those are the things you're talking about are going to be keywords that people are searching for you anyway. So if you did those videos regularly and loaded closed captioning content with those videos, that would help you rank within search, because there's not a lot of people that are currently taking advantage of that. And to the point that traditional entertainment is starting to catch on a little bit, but not very much. There's a show on Hulu called The Morning After, and this show does a roundup of all of the previous night's television. So if you think of that people in Hulu are searching for the television from the night before, and this show is doing a roundup of the television from the night before, The Morning After always shows up as the first item in search in Hulu. Whenever I go to Hulu, I get the show in The Morning After. And so that lets me know that Hulu is doing a very good job of crawling what people are talking, the closed captioning